Welcome back. It has been more than 21.5 hours and still no major breakthrough in the rescue operation to pull out Akshita from a depth of 40 feet where she is stuck in a dry borewell. Remember, she was chased by dogs and she fell into this borewell around 7:30 last evening. Within a few hours, the fire and emergency service personnel started a rescue operation, but no major breakthrough as such. The government pressed in a chopper to try and ferry the robotic expert Manikandan from Tamil Nadu. But now the NDRF team has advised against using the robotic arm at this stage of the rescue operation. The NDRF team believes that it might be counterproductive to use the robotic arm at this juncture. They believe they first have to complete digging a horizontal tunnel, after which they can close the borewell from below, and then they believe it will be safe to use this robotic arm to pull out Akshita from top. Well, my colleague Akshita is at the spot in Bijapur covering the story, and she's got the latest update.
Well, the situation here in Bijapur is tense. Everyone is praying and hoping that Mr. Manikandan can perform a miracle. He can pull out the little girl and do what several officials have been trying to do for so many hours together. Let me just quickly show you exactly what's taking place here. It's almost been about 40 minutes since Mr. Manikandan got here, and still they're all working tirelessly together, trying to ensure that they can in fact go ahead and pull the little girl out. In fact, as you can see, initially of course it was just a camera that they put down. The device is still very much on there. They're working tirelessly, they're working raw silently, and there's no word on whether they found anything as such with that camera. But of course, reports also suggesting that experts have claimed that it may be not the best method to use, considering of course that there are a lot of issues, considering that Akshita stuck at 29 feet and she could slip further if in fact that robot does touch her but does not manage to hold on to her, and that could prove to be hugely detrimental to the rescue operations that is being conducted here as well. This has what's been taking place since late last night, where JCBs have been employed. They are going ahead and digging very, very deep. They're trying to ensure that, of course, they can reach her. Meanwhile, even as Mr. Manikandan is working on one side, we've got these JCBs digging and digging all through the day. It's been so many hours. They have managed some progress, but keep in mind, initially itself, they had stated that there will be quite a bit of handicaps, keeping in mind the texture in this particular area. The soil is hard. There are huge rocks. They've even had to use stone crushers to ensure that they go ahead and break up some of those stones, and it becomes easier to dig up and reach there. But clearly, as you could see there, they have a long way to go before they can actually go ahead and reach up to 29 feet. And if the robot doesn't work, it could take nearly through the night, in fact, for little Akshita to be rescued. Also through the day, considering that there's been so much attention on this incident, and we've seen huge crowds gathering. Initially, there was quite a bit of chaos, but as of now, we understand that the cops have managed to control the situation. The rural police is also here. They've set up barricades, they've put up ropes to ensure, of course, that the people do not come through and hamper the operations. This has been put all across. There's almost a radius of sorts, and of course every possible step has been taken. There's the fire department present, there are medical services present, there are the police, there are rescue forces present, so everyone ensuring that they do their bit. But even as we talk about all this, there's an eerie silence out here, but at the end of the day, there's still that glimmer of hope that in fact Akshita will survive, a little 4-year-old girl. Also, of course, we have to highlight that this entire place is absolutely desolate. Yes, it may look very, very crowded now, but on any other day, you will notice that this is just almost acres of farmland and absolutely nothing here, which also leads us to the question, what was the little girl doing all alone in such a desolate place? This particular borewell has been here for years together, but maybe those questions are to be kept for another day. As of now, it's all about the rescue operations, and mind you, the weather is not helping. It's been sweltering heat, and now there are threats of rains as well. In fact, you can see that this sky has clouded over, and will that prove to be a deterrent as well? Will that in fact affect the rescue operations? No doubt, if there are rains that will in fact impact the rescue operations, it will lead to the borewell as well having to need that extra protection so the water doesn't seep through, and also with regards to the digging, it could lead to a lot of issues. So there are a lot of factors that is playing against the rescue operations here, but the hope is that at the end of the day, if not Mr. Manikantan, at least the digging will help. At least little Akshata will be out by this evening before, of course, the clock strikes 24 hours since she fell down there. With camera person Mahantesh, this is Akshata Nandagopal for News 9.
Well, yes, just a few more hours left for the clock to tick and reach 24 hours. 21 hours, 36 minutes. That's the amount of time that little Akshata has spent roughly around 40 feet below the ground level. Well, there are various measures being taken out by the rescue officials, but the fact that now they have decided not to use the robotic arm, they will dig a well, they will dig a parallel well, then they will have to dig a horizontal well as well. We were speaking to officials and experts earlier in the day, and most of them agreed that digging a horizontal well will take a lot of time. It's a time-consuming process, and also the fact that this is a rocky terrain will make that entire job that much more difficult. Well, if the horizontal well is indeed started, or if the job on digging the horizontal well is started, then it will take a few more hours, in which case it is very unlikely at this juncture that the fire and emergency service personnel will complete this rescue operation within 24 hours. Somewhere we are staring at a grim situation of this rescue operation going on to the night. One more cause of concern for several people over there is the fact that one is the temperature. It's northern part of Karnataka where temperatures are usually high, and today as well the temperature was high, but later on in the evening, just a few minutes back, as my colleague told, there are dark clouds. Fear of a rain is always there. If indeed it rains, then it's bad news for the rescue operation. It might have to be halted for a few minutes. In the meanwhile, several people across Karnataka continue to pray for little Akshata. We saw prayers being offered at temple, at Dargah, and now in church in Mysore, where several people have come together to offer prayers for a safe and successful rescue of Akshata.
आप हमारी सेवा कीजिए।
Sir, 1 second.
In the meanwhile, as the robotic arm was taken in a chopper to the location, the digging at the site continued. They will have to reach a depth of at least 30 feet before they start digging a horizontal tunnel.
Well, this is on the other side of that borewell, which is where they are digging extensively, hoping, of course, that they can reach down to 4-year-old Akshata. What you're looking at, of course, is not the deep end. That is the deep end there for you. They've reached down to that level, but for them to get down there further, they will need to remove some of that extra mud, some of that loose mud, and that could take quite some time. You can see that there are a lot of JCBs on hold as well, on standby of sorts, waiting for the mud to be loaded off, and then we could be looking at extensive digging once again beginning. If this is the only solution, if in fact they're going to reach 4-year-old Akshita like this, it's going to take quite some time. As you can see, they've dug all this up in the last 20 hours or so, and for them to actually reach her, it could take all through the night, and maybe only tomorrow morning we could see signs of the little girl. This is the longer way out, but they're not taking any chances. Even as Mr. Manikantan is working on the other side, they are going ahead and working here. But I'm just going to show you exactly what's happening all around here. A lot of curious onlookers as well. We're looking at a lot of rescue personnel as well as police officials present, all of them on standby, and of course there's no question that they are ensuring that if there's any need for help, they are present. They do not want to be short of staff as such. All the members you just saw were part of the National Disaster Relief Management Force, so they're all present there. Besides that, huge crowds gathered. In fact, every once in a while they keep approaching, and the police are ensuring that they kept at bay. There are no barricades of sorts here, but of course people are on the lookout for any sign of the little girl. There's no doubt that even as Mr. Manikantan is working with technology, this method of digging is going to take a lot of time. It's very laborious. There's going to be a lot of hard work put in, but this could be the only way out for the little girl. With camera person Mahantesh, this is Akshita Nandagopal for News 9, Bijapur.
Yes, the latest detail is that the rescue personnel have managed to complete digging to a depth of 30 odd feet, and the idea now was to finish digging at least till 35 feet or 38 feet, after which they'll start their work on digging a horizontal tunnel to reach Akshita. They believe that this horizontal tunnel should at least be 8 feet in length, which means that you can easily expect this work to go on till night, and as my friend Akshita told, it might even go on till early in the morning. Well, at this juncture, they have decided not to use the robotic arm, continue with their digging, then finish digging that parallel well, after which they will start digging a horizontal tunnel. There are experts from the Hatti gold mine who are helping the rescue officials in terms of engineering and calculation of how much depth this parallel tunnel should be and where exactly the horizontal tunnel should be dug. Well, we'll slip into a short break now, but we will continue to track the story on the other side of this very short break.